Good morning. Our hand today is going to be Pocket Kings. This might be a simple hand to go through, but I think it's worth the practice anyways, especially when it comes time to discuss like flop and turn play. So in this hand, under the gun raises. He's playing 17-13, and we look at his stats. If I can open it. Here it is raise first. In stat from early positions, 11%, 9 out of 84. I think this is probably decent range. I think suited as being under the gun, maybe he's a little bit tighter, but then it's on us. And our range here to 3-bet looks something like this. And then we've got some other hands that we could 3-bet or call. I think for a player like this, we might get away with raising like ace jack and king queen. We block, having those hands, we block some of his aces, we block some of his kings. Kind of makes it a little bit more likely that he has like pocket pairs. We can kind of judge flop as long as we're aware we don't want to get it all in on like a jack high board, queen high board, or something like that. Once he demonstrates that he wants to get all in, I think we might have some problems. So here I was probably playing this range, and I 3-bet, and then it folds back around, and now villain 6-4-bets, and this is kind of interesting. So the only thing I have is 4-bet range is aces and ace king. We have kings, which kind of blocks, what kind of hands he has. So when he 4-bets, I'm going to think these pairs are gone. I think he could still have maybe ace queen. If we look at 4-bet plus after raising, he really doesn't really have any of those. At least the stats that I have, they don't list it. Maybe he has beyond, I don't know, I think the 12 weeks or so that these stats cover. So maybe he has something like this where you've got the ace queens, maybe have queens, maybe it's something that looks like this for the 4-bet. I think our concern is really aces. That's about the only hand that we're really concerned with, and we don't block aces. There's a full 6 combos versus ace king, where they only has 8 combos of those. He's got the last combo of kings, and then full 6 combos of queens. If he can do it with queens, I think this is a simple call, and probably expect to get all in, because I think queens would get all in unless the turn is like ace or king, and then that would kind of really slow him down. So I think our play here could be to raise. Just go ahead, 5-bet. He already, we made it 9, he makes it 20. We could do it up to maybe 50, or we can just say heck with it and just shove him all in and run the flop out. This time I just decided to call, and the flop comes down 9-5-4. So we're looking at range is basically I have ace queen. That's about the difference. So let's see here, 9 of clubs, 4 of clubs, and 5 of spades. So we have the possibility of having ace queen. I excluded that from his range. So now he bets 10, actually a quarter pot, pretty small. I think we are definitely have a valid raise here. He's betting a little bit small, but we do have to recognize that just because it's small doesn't mean he's weak. Pot's really large for this limit. This is 10 NL. Normally the flop pot is maybe 10-15 big blinds. In a 3-bet pot it might be 15-20, and that's actually kind of large. We would have several callers. So not, I mean, 10 big blinds is still kind of a big bet for this limit. What do I think he's doing this with? He's probably doing it with all of his hand, with 100% of his range here. So, I don't think it makes much of a difference. We do have the king of clubs. Well, he could have the ace of clubs. So I think we're definitely calling. Is there value in raising? I think so. I think if we raise, then queens are going to be calling, aces are going to be calling. I think if we just call here and the flop brings an ace or a king, it could freeze the action, especially if he has queens. But at the same time, we could be getting ourselves into some issues because our kings could be beat by aces. Here we just called, and again, I think we could raise here. I think we could raise. Jack of diamonds is the turn. Now villain checks, and that is kind of telling because I kind of feel like all of his overpair would continue to bet, which means this is looking more like ace king. This is looking more like ace king. So once he checks, should we bet? Question is, if we bet, will he call with ace king? Maybe he thinks we're going to be bluffing. I kind of think instead of betting now, let's wait to the river. If the river brings a blank and he checks again, we can bet. Then he only has one bet to call. He's gonna be basically guessing. Are we bluffing here, or do we actually have a pocket pair? Whereas on the turn, if we bet, he's going to have to think, am I going to bet again on the river? So I think there's more fold equity here on the turn than on the river, and I'm not sure if we necessarily want fold equity if he has ace king. Yeah, there's 3 outs that could come. The ace could come and that could beat us, but I think we can just check behind and hope to get some value on the river because he's gonna, maybe he calls to catch a bluff. 5 of hearts didn't improve. Oops. I guess we're gonna have to do that. Yep, so ace high. He does check again. I think now we bet and we hope to get called. We hope that he calls as a bluff catch. How much do we bet? Well, there's 61 in the pot. There's 75 is his stack. I think we do have jacks in our range, so we could have jacks full of 5s. So I think if we overbet, it's a really strong polarization. I think it means we would have, jacks full of 5s or something that missed, maybe king, queen of clubs, maybe, ace, king, ace, queen of clubs. I don't really like that. I think we would go for maybe half pot. Try to get some value, maybe even a little bit smaller. So 30 big blinds is half, maybe go for like 20 or 25 and hope he calls. I think I missed this bet here. If we lose, we lose. So, I mean, we can't let the outcome dictate our overall bet. But based on our hand rating, it doesn't make sense that he would have stopped betting with aces or kings. So I think we are ahead, and I think we're way ahead. Our chance now is to try to get paid. I don't think we could say, well, what would he call with if we bet? Well, he could call with hands that we beat, and he's calling to try to bluff catch. Now, if he has queens, he could be calling because he thinks he might have the best hand. But I think it's ace king is what we're looking at here. So I checked behind, and he shows ace king. So it's just exactly what we figured. I do think we missed our river bet, and again, I think betting on the river is a better play than betting on the turn. So as I said, I think this was kind of a simple play because of the 4-bet really narrows the ranges. Yes, we had 2 extra combos, with the ace queen, but it's good to still work through these hands just to confirm that we are we are making these proper reads. Hopefully you enjoy this hand. If you do, look tomorrow for another.